This week you mentioned that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving people chances to make more mistakes so he can grab them. Is this something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is something that is changing now because
Is on? Good.
The world is getting to a point where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is just
No. That sohbat is a very high level sohbat. That's why I don't want to give high level sohbats like that also. Then everybody thinks, oh, we're here to make mistakes so that Allah can show His mercy. So I'm making mistake. Actually, I'm doing a favor to Allah to show Him, for Him to show me mercy. No, it's not like that. For those who understand mercy, mercy is going to be shown to them. For those who don't understand mercy, they'll be thrown to garbage. They'll be thrown to non-existence. This is what's going to happen to a majority of the people in this Akhir Zaman. 6 out of 7 will be thrown to non-existence. Muslims, definitely. First, because the responsibility is on us. Those calling themselves murids, those calling themselves believers, first responsibility. You're still not waking up. That sohbat that I've given is for people that are sincerely, they're seeking Allah. And they're looking for Allah. And everywhere that they see, people are turning them away from Allah. They're being very self-righteous. Or they're saying, no, look at you. You are doing this, you're doing that. Never you're going to find the mercy. Cannot enter into this masjid. Don't enter into this dargah. Don't talk to me. But they are still crying and they are left alone. Their hearts are broken. It's for those people to give them hope. It's for those people who are looking for Allah. And Allah is still sending all His beloved ones to reach out to them. And to say, don't lose hope in your Allah. Don't lose hope because you are sincere and you really want to change. Then understand that the mercy of your Allah is limitless. For those who don't want to change, Allah is also Qahar. Allah is also Jabbar. He is so Qahar and He is so Jabbar that prophets, they are terrified of Him. You understand? Prophets, they're terrified of Allah. They're not going to come to the day of judgment saying, oh, my Allah is Rahman and Rahim. That is a time that Allah is Qahar, Allah is Jabbar, Allah is Jalal. Because that is judgment day. That day is not a day of mercy, that's a day of judgment. Allah is not going to show that. The only one that is going to show mercy to is the Prophet ﷺ. The way that you are going to run for him and run for those who are representing him is going to show what's going to happen on the judgment day. If you're still in trouble, then you're going to run for that. Sohbat is going on. Out. Kids, they cannot behave. 5-10 minutes only. Sohbat, I'm saying. Get them out. Later, they can run around as much as you want. Go, both of you. Hadi. You too, go. Yes, Shaykh Effendi loves to say this. For those who have no faith, they pass their limits. Allah will send a punishment to them. The punishment will come from those who have faith. Yes? Allah will send a punishment to them. When the people of faith, they pass their limits, then Allah will send those ones who have no faith and no mercy. Because faith and mercy is coming together. No faith and no mercy. To punish who? To punish unbelievers? No, to punish those ones who believe, but they pass the limits. Then for those ones who have no faith and no mercy, Allah will send We're living in these days. The days are coming near. Allah will send that one who has faith to punish them. But He has no mercy. No more mercy. Because Allah's revenge is going to happen. Allah's revenge is going to happen. Don't think that just for this past 100 years or so, world is turning upside down. Shaitans, they're running around and they're ruling everything, and Allah is still not ruler. Allah is still not judging. He's counting. Every drop of blood is counting. And for one time in this world, Allah will give His revenge. This is not about Muslims or Jews or Christians anymore. This is about believers and unbelievers. This is about people who believe in what? They believe in human kindness. They believe in good human qualities of mercy, of fairness, of understanding, of intelligence. Those who believe in that, even whatever they call themselves, they will be believers. But those ones who say, no, we don't believe in all this human kindness, what? Take care of people? We are tyrants. We only want to use people. Make them to become worse than slaves. Those ones. Allah is saying, you don't show mercy. How are you going to receive mercy? Those ones are the ones who don't believe. And those ones, they can even call themselves Muslims, or Christians, or Jews, or unbelievers. They can call themselves that too, but they say no. Everyone should be sent to hell. Everyone should be slaves. Everyone should be, they are lower and they're more dirty than me. I should use them. Even if you call yourself a Muslim, you're going to receive a very heavy punishment on that day, if you don't wake up. No one can say Allah is not fair. For those who are looking for Allah, and they're looking at themselves and they say, how can Allah come? How can I reach to Allah? I'm so filled with dirtiness. For those ones, Allah is saying, my mercy, it is greater than my anger. If you come back to me, sincerely you come back to me, even if your sins, they are as much as the foam on the ocean, uncountable, you don't take anyone's rights, I'll forgive you, because my mercy covers my anger. But for those ones that their gunah, their sins are covering the oceans, but they're thinking they're top of the world, they're thinking they're not doing anything wrong, they're thinking they're lords and they're tyrants, for them, Allah is also Qahar. Allah is also the one who takes a revenge. His Prophet ﷺ is saying what? You will find your Lord. How? However you see Him. However you see Him, however you understand Him, that is going to be your Lord. It has oceans of meanings there. But for people that they are worshipping to what? Tyranny. They're worshipping to terrorism. They're worshipping to anger. That is their Lord, and their Lord is going to judge them according to that. With that. You understand me? But for those that they're saying we did so much wrong, sincerely, we're coming back to you, and we are, Allah is saying it's not enough, you come back to me. You must clean up the mess that you have done with other people. I will not forgive until they forgive. And Allah is also fair. Allah is also, okay, they may forgive you, But now they're coming to me. Understand? That time, because he is master over everyone. They say, okay, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave the power to Jibreel alayhi salam to stop who? Firaun from escaping in this world. Firaun, he made life a living hell for the believers. And he's made life a living hell for Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, Kalimullah. And at the very last moment when he's about to be drowned, to die as an unbeliever and to go to Jahannam forever, he's very slick, this Firaun. He was going to say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Musa Rasulullah. Allah gave permission to Jibreel alayhi salam to stop his mouth before he completed it. You understand? There are some people with that kind of power Allah may give. To say, okay, you can settle scores, but we still haven't settled our score. Because you did all that. These ones, they're not fighting for themselves. Jibreel alayhi salam is not for himself, because of he loves whom Allah loves. So many people are not going to understand this. They're going to argue with me and say, but Allah is like this, Allah is like that, Prophet is like this. Then no need to listen to me. Go listen to your Wahhabi shaitan imams. You'll be very happy with that. So clean up your mess. You understand? So even if you say to that one, I forgive you, there are still other ones. They say, okay, that's fine, but you still made a big mess. Now we have to settle the score. You understand? Allah is not, He's watching everything very carefully, watching everyone's rights very, very carefully. Allah is even watching the rights of the ants and the insects and the water and the air. And He's saying believers must watch these rights too. It is forbidden to us to even kill a mosquito with anger. You understand? That's why it is forbidden for us to burn anything too. These days, mashallah, Muslim nations running to build bombs that will burn the whole world. That's why nothing is moving forward for them. They're rushing to do that. Why don't you rush to open the masjids of Allah? And now, of course, foolish Muslims, munafiqs, I'm calling them, they're saying, how dare you open the masjid of Allah? Should be a museum. Munafiqs. I don't hear you saying anything when our masjids are turned into bars and hotels and turned into a pigsty. I don't hear anything. When they turn into the church or museum or something, I don't hear nothing. Now, is the sun still shining on us? Yes. The air is still there? Yes. Food is still given? Yes. Understand now the mercy of Allah is still there. Earlier nations, they do one wrong thing, whole nation is punished. Earlier nation, they do one wrong thing, whole nation is punished. This nation continuously doing things worse than those earlier nations, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is still not touching us. Not touching us. We have to have fear of Allah. Yes, and we fear the Prophet, alayhi salatu wassalam. Yes, and we fear our sheikhs. If you don't fear the Prophet and you don't fear your sheikh, impossible for you to fear Allah. If you don't fear Allah, impossible you're going to love Allah. It's all just foolishness. Today's Muslims, they think they are better than Sahabis, better than prophets. Because Hazrati Yahya alayhi salam, he feared Allah so much. John the Baptist, he feared Allah so much. When he was young, when his father was giving a khutbah, giving a waz, when he was young, his father was talking about the ayats of Allah, describing the power of Allah and the punishment of Allah. When he's just mentioning those ayats, Yahya alayhi salam was very small at that time. He will suddenly hear someone screaming at the end from fear of Allah. So much so that he says, don't bring my son into this, because it's very sensitive that way. Fear of Allah so much that Yahya alayhi salam, he had two marks down his cheeks, 2 marks down, because he is always crying so much from the fear of Allah that his tears were falling and it was making like a river down his cheeks. Prophets, not one, 124,000 prophets. They fear Allah, as they are going to fear Allah on the Day of Judgment. But today's enlightened Muslims, mashallah, especially from the West, oh no brother, love. You cannot fear Allah. God is love. Allah. Where I hear that from? Which ayat? No. Which hadith? No. Which riwayat? No. God is love. Oh, you're taking from the Christians step by step. Allah is not love. Allah is the creator of love. You understand? So that creator is saying, love this way. Don't love that way. Now everything that is a desire in mankind, they say it is love. From the physical desire to everything else, any desire, they say it is love. What a big fitna. Wrong. You're not going to like me. You're not going to talk to me. I don't care. Are you my creator? No, you're not. Then sit over there. There is no guarantee for us. Unless we have guarantors. There is no guarantee for us unless we have guarantors. It's not just in the mafia, that they say if you vouch for someone, you vouch for someone. In life too. If they recommend someone, you vouch for him, for his character, no? It's not because of you, but because someone says, higher up says, this one is okay. That is life. We need to find those ones who can vouch for us. Those are the prophets. Those are the saints. We need to be sincere with them. We need to be sincere with ourselves. We need to understand that our egos are so tricky that we cannot even see those things. But if our guarantors, if our sheikhs saying, you are sick, we cannot argue with him. Everyone is going for testing these days. Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing to see. Why you trust the one who's coming with a cotton bud, cotton what? Q-tip. And they poke you here and then later they give you a result. Why you trust that? You can't see nothing. You don't even know who the person is. And you're trusting that one to say you have virus or you don't have virus. Yet, the person who is representing the Prophet ﷺ, the person who is given that authority, if he says you have a virus, we fight. 24 hours, we deny. We become rebellious. We're in denial. Because we have no more faith. We have no more faith in the Prophet. This is why. I have faith in Allah. Good. You become Yahudi. Like that. They believe in Allah. But lost your faith in the prophets. Because it is the prophets who is the mirror of Allah. And it is the prophets who is going to reflect you. And those who are representing them, they'll reflect you. And they say, look. You are seeing this. But I take X-ray, I take MRI. And I'm seeing this. Used to be Muslims believe this. Not anymore. Murids don't believe it anymore. One day like this, one day like that. We're in a very dangerous situation. Be careful. Especially our Jamaat, you be very careful because there are so many eyes on us. I said this over and over again. You're not changing that term, I will cut you off. And I'm starting to cut people off already. It's not because I like them or I don't like, there's nothing to do with that. But he's saying you are continuously being rebellious and being dangerous. Don't be with us if it's so bad. This whole world is free. Go do whatever you like. But as our Sheikh says, never forget, your leash is in our hands. Your leash is in our hands. We give you a long leash. You may go anywhere that you want, but the leash is in our hands, and one day we will pull it. Shaykh Effendi says, one day we pull it and you will not even breathe. You're going to be caught like that. My leash, your leash is in the hands of our Shaykh. He is watching us. They are watching us in these days. Be careful. Right? Are you tired? Yeah, it must be. How are we looking to ourselves? Are we looking to ourselves? When we look to ourselves, are we seeing our Shaykh? Meaning, are we seeing what he's saying we have to do, how to be obedient? And are we seeing what we are doing that is in opposition to that? Are we seeing it? If you don't see it, if you still think you're doing everything correctly, then please go. Go, collect a couple of people with you. Why not? People are doing it already. Alhamdulillah. Step by step we're seeing, we're following the sunnah of our Shaykh too. Shaykh Effendi says, one person comes next to me 1-2 days, later he leaves me, later I find out he has 1-2 murids. He says, mashallah, we're training sheikhs. Yeah, we're following that sunnah too. And for long people that were with us, they go off and they declare themselves. That's okay. It is exactly what Shaykh Effendi is saying. But we will know who is up ahead when the time comes. Whether it is a horse or a donkey, when the dust settles. Right now it is still very dusty. Hold on to Shaykh Effendi, inshallah. Hold on to our Shaykh properly. Don't hold on to your ego and your stubbornness. May Allah forgive me and bless you, inshallah. Al-Fatiha. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Okay. Yeah.